tell you, viewers, and you need to consider this, Victor. Since you're sitting there in Beijing and slowly provoking and putting this on slow heat, you want it to simmer because you want to hold the cards. But this interview is a real interview, it's not made up. And in this interview, two critical points are made. NATO is off the table. Second point, that Ukraine will give neutral status guarantees if it gets a security guarantee. Now you're sitting there just because you don't want the war to end, you're going to make profit if it continues. That's not being very responsible, Victor. The world is beginning to see through this. Don't change the goalpost. Xi must call Putin and tell him to stop the war because the reasons for the war are gone. The reasons for the war are gone, Victor. Unless you want to use this as an excuse to attack Taiwan, which is obviously your strategy. But the reasons for the war are gone.
Arnab, with due respect, I completely disagree with your presumption. First of all, I would say, philosophically speaking, NATO membership for Ukraine is a dead end. Russia has declared by rhetoric as well as by a military operation that no membership of NATO for Ukraine or over its dead body. I think if anyone disregards this warning from Moscow, he or she will do this at his or her own peril, as we are seeing the tragedy unfolding in Ukraine. We are very pained by all the losses of life and damages in Ukraine, but we need to do whatever we can to de-escalate and bring the military operation to an end as quickly as possible to save as many lives in Ukraine as possible. Now, the second thing is, well, no NATO membership. NATO and the United States Army were already in Ukraine before the outbreak of the military operation on February 24th. So I think it would also befitting the United States and NATO to promise that they will no longer push the NATO expansion eastwards into Ukraine, for example, because otherwise this NATO expansion will constitute a menace to the national security interest of big countries like Russia.
The question is off the table, don't you? No, Victor, you are running out of excuses, my friend. You're running out of excuses. You want to prolong this war. Why don't you tell us what your real reason is? NATO is off the table. In January, you said NATO was the threat. After the Russia invasion, you said demilitarization is the issue. Then you said there was a nuclear threat. Then you said there's a human shield situation. Then you said there's a biolab threat. You know, you complete. There are no reasons. You got to accept this. I want Lev to come in from Israel. This is getting completely ridiculous, Lev. Especially after the official position taken by the Ukrainians now. Lev, what do you think?
First of all, to praise the journalistic, for me it is new what was said, and I want to praise you as Republic TV for this interview. This is the first.